TV Memories. Brought to you by dantheartman.com. Episode 8 by Justin Macumber. Like most Gen-Xers, I grew up on a steady diet of television. Some of my first memories are of watching Superman in grainy black and white, later graduating to shows like V and Knight Rider. Really, it's no wonder that I became the sci-fi geek I am today. I doubt I had a chance of being anything else. That said, for a long time I never considered television a medium for truly transcendent storytelling. Sure, there were the occasional episodes that rose to the level of true art, TREK TNG's Inner Light and Babylon 5's The Deconstruction of Falling Stars, but it wasn't until I watched Joss Whedon's FIREFLY that a TV show was able to get into my heart and soul and become part of me. Because FIREFLY was so good, I knew I had to see if the rest of Whedon's shows could do the same, and thus began a long, wonderful journey into the glory that is Buffy and Angel. Now I look back and wish I'd tried them sooner. Whedon is a master storyteller, and his characters are some of the most realized fictional people I've ever had the pleasure to watch. If you haven't watched his shows, I implore you, do so. But no other show in the history of television has affected, inspired, thrilled, and intrigued me as much as Lost. For 6 seasons I watched as a show about a group of plane crash survivors turned into a sprawling epic that was part science fiction, part fantasy, part horror, and part mystery. It's a mean feat to surprise me, but Lost did it at every turn. Just when I thought I knew what the show was about, it turned on its head and went in a direction I never saw coming. And the mysteries. First, we wanted to know where they were. Then, what those strange sounds were in the jungle. Then we moved on to the smoke monster and the hatch buried in the ground. We wondered, what do the numbers mean? Which led to The Others and Desmond. Then suddenly we had the Dharma Initiative, the Black Rock, and the Freighter. And then, at the end, the greatest mystery of all, the Man in Black and Jacob. Every episode held secrets and clues which I and thousands of others flocked to the internet to try and solve. I was hooked. In an age of DVR and time-shifted viewing, my wife and I watched Lost as soon as it hit the air every week. Our eyes locked on the screen and our breath held in anticipation of what new wonder it would bring. And never, ever were we disappointed. But the show went beyond the TV set. The producers of the show created fake websites that interested viewers could go to try and decipher. They also put out a book, a game, viral videos, and more, all of it in service of creating a show with a deep and intriguing mythology. You could enjoy the show without going after any of that. But true fans were compelled to explore every aspect of Lost that they could. Now, much has been made of the finale. A lot of it negative, but to them, I say, poop on you. I loved it. By the time the last shot faded out, I was in tears, as was my wife. For a show that covered so much ground and so many genres, that offered up so many mysteries, no one could have ended all that in a way that would please everyone, or even most. Luckily, I was one of those who thought it was perfect. Lost was always about its characters, and it ended the same way. Some mysteries were solved, but a lot of answers were left undiscovered, and that's okay. In fact, I'm glad. Part of me will always be on that island, and so long as there are questions to ponder, my heart will be ready to trek into the jungle one more time. To all the people involved in the creation of Lost, let me say thank you. You've already given me untold hours of pleasure, and with my Blu-ray series collection clutched in my greedy hands, I know I'll get hours more.
Namaste.
Justin is the author of Haywire, and the forthcoming A Minor Magic. When not hard at work on his next story, he hosts the popular Dead Robots Society podcast. He and his lovely wife live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, along with their motley pack of dogs and cats that they think of as their children. He's also a co-host on The Hollywood Outsider, a weekly podcast about movies and television, and Fit to Write, a show for writers concerned with health and fitness. You can find Justin online at justinmacumber.com, and that's Justin, Macumber.com. You can find more about his novel Haywire, which just came out a little while ago, at justinmacumber.com/novels/haywire. You can find the writing podcast he hosts at deadrobotsociety.com, and the other two podcasts he contributes to can be found at thehollywoodoutsiders.com and fittowrite.com, and that's fit-2-write, as in WRITE.com. Thanks for listening, everybody, and just for the record, the last episode of Lost ruined it for me. It still remains one of my favorite shows, and it was really cool to see how epic storytelling could be on my TV screen. I loved the characters. They did such a great job with all that stuff. But really, so many unanswered questions. It ticked me off, and it left me saying, really? This is the last episode? Really? You're going to do that to me? Really? What about this? What about that? What about this? What about this? Oh! But I do have to admit with Justin, it's one of the best TV shows I've ever seen. And even though the last episode left a terrible taste in my mouth, I have to say it still is a great show, and if you haven't watched it, I think you'd enjoy it. And hey, I'm just one man's opinion. Go check it out. Thanks, Justin, and thank you guys for listening. And we'll have another guest blog post for you guys on TV Memories next Friday. Take care. You can find the blog posts that go with this audio at dandantheartman.com. This podcast is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivative Works, 3.0 International License.